2025 Oscar nominations are out. We have got huge surprises and snubs. Many records were broken and new records were created. Let's break down each category with which films made it in and which were left out. So first, let's start with some records, as there were more than 70 plus records created. I have only included few of them. So here we go. Emilia Perez sets the record as the most nominated non-English film in Oscar history with 13 nominations. It surpasses Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and Roma, which both got 10 nominations. Emilia Perez is now tied with 6 films as the second most nominated movie at the Oscars ever. Carla Sofia Gascon makes history as the first openly trans woman to be nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars. Jack Odiad for Emilia Perez is the second person in Oscars history to be nominated for producing, directing, writing and writing a song after Spike Jonze, and the first person to be nominated for all the 4 for the same film. France gets its 42nd International Feature nomination with Emilia Perez, extending its record for the most of all time. France remains 2 behind Italy for the most wins of all time. Fernanda Torres is the only second Brazilian actress to receive an Oscar nomination. The first was her mother, Fernanda Montenegro, as she was nominated in 1999 for Central Station, also directed by the same director, Walter Salles. The Substance becomes the 7th horror film ever to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Cynthia Erivo joins Viola Davis as the second black woman to be nominated multiple times in the Best Actress category at the Oscars. Sean Baker for Anora is the third person nominated for directing and editing the same film with no co-directors or co-editors. The Brutalist, with a runtime of 215 minutes, is the 5th longest film ever to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Timothée Chalamet is the third youngest person to achieve multiple Best Actor nomination for Call Me By Your Name and A Complete Unknown. Dune is the 4th franchise to have its first 2 films nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Others include The Godfather, Avatar and Lord of the Rings. Greg Fraser for Dune franchise has now been nominated for multiple films in a franchise for Best Cinematography. He is the first person in Oscar history to accomplish that feat. For the first time in 47 years, all 5 Best Actress nominees are in films also nominated for Best Picture. The last time this happened was in 1978 at the 50th Academy Awards, and surprisingly, supporting actress is also 5 for 5 in Best Picture. This is only the 6th time that all the Best Director nominees are first time nominees, and the first time that happened since 1997. All 5 Best Director nominees are also nominated for writing their films. That's only the second time that's happened after 2022. This is the only second time in the last 50 years that 2 musicals, Wicked and Emilia Perez, were nominated for Best Picture. The other was in 2018 with A Star Is Born and Bohemian Rhapsody. Flo joins Flea as the only films nominated for Best Animated Feature and Best International Feature. Diana Warren for The Journey gets a Best Song nomination for the 8th straight year, tying Sammy Chen's record from 1954 to 61 for the longest streak in this category. But if she doesn't win, she would tie Greg P. Russell's Best Sound nomination at 0 for 16 for the most losses without a win in a category. So now the most nominated films at this year's Oscars were Emilia Perez with 13 nominations, The Brutalist with 10 nominations, Wicked with 10 nominations, A Complete Unknown with 8 nominations, Conclave with 8 nominations, Anora with 6 nominations, Dune Part 2 with 5 nominations, The Substance with 5 nominations and Nosferatu with 4 nominations. The most nominations by a studio are Netflix with 16 nominations, A24 with 14 nominations, Universal with 13 nominations, Focus Features with 12 nominations, Searchlight with 10 nominations, Neon with 7 nominations, Mubi with 6 nominations, Warner Brothers with 5 nominations, Paramount with 3 nominations and Sony Pictures Classics with 3 nominations. Now let's start with the nominations. For Best Picture we have Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, I Am Still Here, The Substance and Wicked. Other films that had a chance were A Real Pain, Sing Sing, September 5, Nosferatu, All We Imagine Is Light, and Challengers. For Best Director, the nominees are Jack Audiard for Emilia Perez, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, Sean Baker for Anora, Chloe Faja for The Substance, and James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. The other directors that had a chance were Edward Berger for Conclave, Payal Kapadia for All We Imagine Is Light, Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys, Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, and John M. Chu for Wicked. The Best Actress nominees are Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison for Anora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I Am Still Here. The other actresses that had a chance were Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, Maria John Baptiste for Hard Truth, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl, and Angelina Jolie for Maria. The nominees for Best Actor are Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. The other actors that had a chance were Daniel Craig for Cure and Hugh Grant for Heretic. The nominees for Best Supporting Actress are Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabel Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. The other actresses that had a chance were Jamie Lee Curtis for The Last Showgirl, Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez, Margaret Qualley for The Substance, Daniel Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson, and Angelou Ellis-Taylor for Nickel Boys. The nominees for Best Supporting Actor are Yura Borisov for Anora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. The other actors that had a chance were Clarence McLean for Sing Sing and Jonathan Bailey for Wicked. The nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. The other films that had a chance were Dune Part 2, Wicked, and I Am Still Here. The nominees for Best Original Screenplay are Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. The other films that had a chance were All We Imagine Is Light and Challengers. The nominees for Best Animated Feature are Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. The nominees for Best Documentary Feature are Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to Coupe d'Etat, and Sugarcane. The other documentaries that had a chance were Daughters, The Remarkable Life of Evelyn, and Dahomey. The nominees for Best International Feature Film are Emilia Perez, Flow, The Girl with the Needle, I Am Still Here, and The Seed of the Sacred Fig. The other films that had a chance were Kneecap, Vermiglio, and How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies. The nominees for Best Cinematography are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. Other films that had a chance were Conclave, Wicked, A Complete Unknown, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and The Girl with the Needle. The nominees for Best Costume Design are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Other films that had a chance were Dune Part 2, Maria, Emilia Perez, The Brutalist, and Blitz. The nominees for Best Film Editing are Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. The other films that had a chance were Dune Part 2, A Complete Unknown, September 5, Challengers, The Substance, and Nickel Boys. The nominees for Best Makeup and Hairstyling are A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. The other films that had a chance were Dune Part 2, Beetlejuice, and Waltzing with Brando. The nominees for Best Production Design are The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. The other films that had a chance were Gladiator 2, Emilia Perez, The Substance, and A Complete Unknown. The nominees for Best Original Score are The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. The other films that had a chance were Challengers, Nosferatu, and Blitz. The nominees for Best Original Song are Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late, El Mal from Emilia Perez, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, and The Journey from The 6888. The other songs that had a chance were Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot and Compress Repress from Challengers. The nominations for Best Sound are A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked and The Wild Robot. Other films that had a chance were Gladiator 2, Blitz, Alien Romulus and Deadpool and Wolverine. The nominations for Best Visual Effects are Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Wicked. The other films that had a chance were Gladiator 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Mufasa the Lion King and Twisters. The nominations for Best Animated Short Film are Beautiful Men, Magic Candles, In the Shadow of the Kypris, Yuck, Wander to Wonder. Other animated short films that had a chance were A Bear Named Watchtek, Maybe Elephants, Me, A Crab in the Pool, Bottle George, The Wild-Tempered Clavier and The 21. The nominations for Best Documentary Short Film are Death by Numbers, I Am Ready Walden, Incident, Instrument of a Beating Heart and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. The other short documentaries that had a chance were Michaela's Voice, A Letter to the World, Once Upon a Time in Ukraine, Chasing Rue, Eternal Father, A Swim Lesson, Keeper and The Quillers. The nominations for Best Live Action Short Film are Anuja, Alien, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. The other live action short films that had a chance were An Orange from Jaffa, Room Taken, The Masterpiece, Def Cote and The Ice Cream Man. So these were the nominations for the 2025 Oscar Awards. So what are your thoughts on these nominations? Write down in the comments below. And if you want to see my live reaction on these nominations, you can watch this video over here as well. So please like and share this video with more people and subscribe to the channel and follow my social media handles @TheNewsTom is the handle name. Link is in the description. So thank you for watching. See you again in the next video. Till then, bye bye. See you. Take care.